Yo ho, me pipers, yo ho, and welcome to Salt and Vinegar Sale. We are in the Two Bones Tavern, and today, for the first time on camera, for an actual episode, I should say, we have the salt and the vinegar. We're here. This is our sort of St. Patrick's Day extravaganza. You know, I think both of us, like in our friendship and in our life, that one of the things that really brought us together was whiskey and Irish music. That's just like how we found each other and how we became friends, was playing a lot of Irish music. I think both of us just have a general love for folk music, bluegrass, but also Irish folk music. I personally am a huge fan of the Dubliners. I don't know if there's a particular group that you're interested in, but yeah, we've just, for years now, we've been playing Irish music together. That was our excuse to get together and hang out, was to come down here in what used to be a music space and is now the Two Bones Tavern and play Irish folk tunes. So, you know, every St. Patrick's Day we always come together at least, and for the channel, you know, this is our first opportunity to really just kind of celebrate that. I think for both of us, really. We've already played some music, you know, and part of the celebration, what we want to do is just smoke some Irish tobacco, first of all. We're going to smoke some Irish tobacco, present that, you know, really briefly, just share with you our thoughts on what that's like. But our favorite thing we're going to do tonight is just show you some Irish whiskeys, some special Irish whiskeys that Aaron has brought over and is going to let us taste. And then we're going to play you an Irish tune, you know, one that was my personal favorite. Aaron indulged me and provided me some accompaniment. So yeah, I'm going to kind of pass it over to you, Aaron, and tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here. What are these Waterford Irish whiskeys?
So these are the Waterford Irish whiskeys coming from the Waterford Distillery. They are currently no longer distilling. They are in some financial trouble, so none of this is being manufactured anymore. But they do have, I might be wrong, I think somewhere in 50,000 barrels still in storage. So they will be bottling some more. But the big thing that drew me to these guys is that they are single farm, single run. So every different run is from a different farm at that time. So each one's a little different. They support the little guy. They all taste a little different, but very similar. And they all kind of have their own little backstory.
We did a tiny bit of research behind this, and apparently these are kind of financially backed by Guinness.
Yes.
So that's kind of interesting. Also, the focus of these are their terroir flavor. So as Aaron was saying, every single bottle, every run is a unique flavor, distinct of a specific location in Ireland. Which I personally think that's really cool. That's one of why we picked this and why we thought this would be really cool. You know, versus just talking about Guinness or Jameson or you know, whatever, something from the Middleton Distillery or something like that.
Right.
You know, one of the things that made me think of is I have a bottle of Whistle Pig farm stock over there, and Whistle Pig is one of my favorite ryes. I love Vermont also. You know, Aaron's from Kentucky, so we got the bourbon representation. I got family in Vermont, so we got, you know, we're all over the place. But yeah, Whistle Pig does something similar with their farm stock, where each batch, you know, is from a different terroir, if you will. So yeah, we've cracked open a few of these.
Couple of them.
Yeah, which one should we talk about first?
Oh shoot, not the organic one. Let's talk about the one we liked the most.
Okay. Tell us about the caps.
From one time, and I might be wrong, I heard that the bottles were hand blown and that the tops they're glass, they're collectible, they're not really cork. It's all glass, they've got a rubber gasket to seal, and when your bottle's empty, you can sell them, keep them, collect them, but they're all a little different. I have a couple yellow, and then one of these is blue. I think it's the organic.
Okay, we'll show that one in a minute. Yeah. So the caps are collectible.
Yes.
Is what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. I feel like we looked that up earlier, and there was like an aftermarket, people trying to collect all the different caps, which is kind of cool.
Might be more collectible now.
Yeah, even more now because they are not distilling. They are currently, I think, in the Irish equivalent of bankruptcy, if I understand. So we tried this one. I kind of want to taste a little bit of it, to be honest.
To talk about it again, yeah.
Yeah.
This was, I think, our favorite.
Give me a dream. It's just a tiny.
I've had these a few years, and we finally had an excuse to crack them. And what a better way than to bring it into the channel.
On St. Patty's Day.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, you've had a little bit more of this than I have.
Buttery, kind of fruity, little fruit, like green fruit, apple. Got that very typical Irish whiskey where you feel like you're eating like a shortbread cookie, maybe a very buttery sugar cookie.
Yeah. Sour fruit. I get a good, a heavy dose of sour fruit. It very much has in addition to everything Aaron just said, white wine, white grape,
Yeah.
white grapefruit juice, sour stone fruit.
And it's a very light whiskey. It's not very golden or dark. Like your Jamesons and your green spots are all very kind of golden brown, and these are very not. It's kind of
Pale,
hard to tell.
yeah.
They're
Yeah,
very,
sorry, I didn't pour a big pour in the bottle. Of course, it's blue.
Yeah,
It's beautiful blue.
They're very light, but you'd never know it. They're smooth. They're not harsh. I almost said sweet. They're not sweet.
There's a healthy dose of sweetness in there, but I very much get oak, a lot of oak.
They're by no way hot. They're 100 proof.
100 proof, yeah.
So
Yeah, I it's funny, they don't really mention much about the oak or the wood
they don't.
or the aging process. They're all about the terroir. They're all about where it's from, the grain that's used, the malt that's used. They are, I believe, single malt, so single distillery, all 100% malt. And apparently the malt comes from a single farm per batch. So this one that we're trying right now is the Rathclough. I'm sorry, my Gaelic is non-existent. So they don't talk about the, at least not that I mean, we looked over all of this.
We tried.
The websites don't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
They're not loading at the time. So one of the unique features about these bottles and the distilleries, is they provide a lookup code. So for every batch, it not only tells you single farm origin and tells you which farm it's from, but it says which batch from that farm it is. So if there's multiple batches from that farm, you can look up specifically where in Ireland the grain from this was grown, in which season even, and there's a code that you can enter into a website. And
We tried.
There's
no codes or anything.
Yeah, they don't work anymore because the website doesn't exist anymore, which is such a shame. Hopefully they come back and they have a resurgence. If I could say anything about it, they have these holographic labeling, hand-blown bottles.
Yeah,
sorry.
There's a lot of detail. The base of the bottles that you would never even look at, like that it sits on, all says something. I mean, it's very much. It's a labor of love. They're definitely art.
Yeah, it's such a shame. If anything, I hope they come back and they just focus on the whiskey.
Yeah.
I 100% have no problem spending a lot of money on this bottle of whiskey to taste the whiskey without all of the glamour. Yeah, the fancy.
Yeah.
It's cool, and maybe it's a remnant of the past, but if they could bring that back, that would be really
the whiskey
cool.
was good.
It's really good. So what other we didn't? So this one was the Rathclough, and that was the 1.1. There was another expression of this, not this one. This was the Dunmore. We did not try this one. This is the same expression, so it's the same mash bill and everything is that. It's just a different terroir, so it's a different farm. We haven't tried this one yet. The other one that we did try this is the Gaia 1.1. And this one was fun because it had a blue cap. So we were talking about the caps being particularly, you have two yellows. This one was a yellow, two yellows and a blue. So if anybody's in the market for a blue, you know who to contact. This one is all organic, so I don't think it's a single farm. but it's all organic. The label even feels a little different. It's kind of neat. It's like paper almost.
It's the old ways, is what they're saying. They tried to mimic whiskey of old, but I don't see anything saying that it is a single farm. But I would assume.
Yeah, we read all the labels, and I guess the story behind this one is the idea is that traditional Irish whiskey making, 300 years ago in the 18th century or whatever, everything was organic, right? So their goal in making this organic was not to make a quote-unquote organic product. It was to make a product that was
To hearken to old.
right to be closer to the traditional art of Irish whiskey making of old. Yeah. So
Very
this
good.
one, yeah.
Very good. Smooth. It doesn't have as much of the oak flavor that the Rathclough had. Very smooth. Not as punchy. It's got a lot of flavor, a lot of complexity, but it's not as in your face as the Rathclough. They both come in at 50. Nothing really crazy about them.
Smooth was the word we kept coming back to, unfortunately. The dreaded smooth word.
Yeah, and this come from several different growers. They actually name all the growers.
Oh, okay. So the actual growers and farm locations are
On
on the
the
bottle.
label.
Yeah, on the bottle. Which is that's just cool. Waterford's such a neat place to. I don't know a whole lot about Waterford. I've sadly never been to Ireland.
neither.
Someday we'll have to
take a trip.
Yeah, for real. But I was in an Irish folk band for a while, and we were called the Waterford Boys. So, I'm just saying. Kids, so this was really cool. This flavor, again, I just tried a little bit more of the Rathclough. I want to come back to that. Was my favorite. This one to me was... Yeah, as you said, it was just super smooth.
It's not in your face.
Same proof, but whoo, did it go down. But, honestly, this one I think what you would say has more quote-unquote heat. But it was more exciting.
It was more complex. This one, it was good, but it wasn't as exciting to drink. It had flavor, it had complexity, but when I drank it, I didn't sit there and go, oh my god, and I didn't have all these different flavors that hit me in the face. It was just it was just good. I had nothing to complain about, but it wasn't super exciting.
Yeah.
It didn't knock my socks off.
Yeah.
Was it worth the price?
It is now.
It is now, yeah.
Yeah. So someday maybe we'll crack this open and we'll come back St. Patty's Day next year and
Yeah.
we'll let you know how it's how
How it
things have
compares.
changed. Yeah, and hopefully from what we can tell, there are investors trying to bring this back. And I think you said they still have some barrels. So you can
50,000.
still buy this. Yeah, they are still bottling. They have barrels that are still aging. So they are still bottling. They are still selling. You can still buy some of the newer series. But they are not currently distilling, which is tragic because that means there will be an end for a while until they can, if it comes back. But yeah, what a cool just expression of Ireland, and for something like St. Patrick's Day, for us to get a taste of Ireland, and something that's a little rare.
Yeah.
I don't see these. I don't see them in stores anymore.
Yeah. I've had them maybe 3 years, so it's fun to finally crack them.
Very cool. All right, we've got a lot more Irish celebrations. We're going to smoke some Irish pipes. We're going to smoke some Irish tobacco. We are going to play some Irish music. And yeah, join us in celebrating Ireland and St. Patrick's Day. Thank you all. All right, Pipers. We're out here continuing on with our St. Patrick's Day celebrations. Smoking some Peterson Irish cask. There's so many different Irish themed pipes and pipe tobaccos out there. Of course, I've got my 2025 St. Patrick's Day. Hope you all got yours. Yeah, I love this year's. It's great. They're kind of duds some years. I've looked at some of the past years, but this one with the Sinn Féin on there, it's beautiful. It's great. It's a big win this year, I think. The gold gold accents. That's pretty cool. I'm happy with it. But what are we drinking?
Drinking some Powers. Powers Irish whiskey, straight out of Middleton. Powers Gold label.
It's good stuff. Is it alternative to something like Tullamore or Jameson? I think this is a notch above, just a notch above. I think, yeah.
It's not a super expensive Irish whiskey, and it's not super complex, but it's got a little more going on than like a Jameson would. So if you like Jameson, you'll like Powers. A little less harsh, a little softer on the tongue, a little more to explore there.
Fruit. I get a lot more fruit. I think Jameson and Tully, to a little higher extent, are more that sour apple, pear kind of.
Green fruit.
Yeah, green fruit. Exactly. Yeah, it's a good call. This is a little more cherry. I think stone fruit, maybe plum. Just a tad though, but it still has that nice, clean but sweet flavor. Good finish though. You mentioned acetone earlier. When we were talking about, it doesn't have. It's not as much of that.
Yeah.
And then the Irish cask, like I was saying, there's tons out there. It's interesting that they call it Irish cask because in one of my previous videos I talked about sherry cask whiskeys, and what we went with was, out of all the scotches, out of all the world whiskeys I had, what I chose as my favorite, at least that I have in the tavern, was Green Spot, which is an Irish whiskey that is, they don't tell you, but from what I've read, most folks think it's somewhere around 25% of what ends up in the final bottle is sherry cask. So that it's interesting because you have the like whiskey flavored tobaccos out there, but this I thought was way more interesting and kind of just felt to me a little more Irish than getting like a whiskey flavored. I'm pretty pleasantly surprised with this actually.
It's a good smoke, real nice, consistent. Wasn't super hard to keep lit. A little wet.
Yeah, but it's fresh. We just cracked it, so this is your first impression. But I believe it's Cavendish, Red Virginia, light burley. Anything else? Am I missing something?
Perique.
Perique, yeah, it does have some perique in it for sure. Very little. You don't get it. You kind of get it, the tin note from it. You know that kind of tangy. I get mostly Cavendish, I think.
Yeah.
For sure. It's kind of creamy, but it's surprisingly good. It says it's aged for years. It says years, so I don't know if that's true. I don't know. It's aged for years in sherry oak casks, so that's what gives it that sherry flavor. I would wager to say there's some kind of flavor in there.
Some.
Yeah.
They say Zimbabwe and orange smoking grades, so I think they do add a little bit of something, but
there's probably some kind of sherry flavor or something like that added to it, but it's very subtle. I actually would not classify this as an aromatic. It's
no.
It's, I guess you would call it more of a Scottish, ironically, with the Cavendish as the lead, but yeah, pretty good. I think we were both kind of surprised. I didn't think it was going to be much of it because the gimmicky kind of stuff to me never kind of pans out, but I'm going to keep smoking this and keep enjoying it. Would I get it again? Maybe. It's a solid, on Mitch's scale, it's a solid 7. But a great pairing with some sherry cask Irish whiskey, although I don't know if that's sherry cask or not. It really doesn't say. It doesn't even say if it's single pot or blend or anything. All we know is that it's Middleton for sure, because I believe Jameson, Powers, and one other brand were like the 3 brands that consolidated into Middleton in the 80s, I want to say. Maybe. Something like that.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good. It's a great pairing and a great celebration of Ireland. So we'll be continuing on with our St. Paddy's Day festivities. We're just chilling out in the barn with the antelope, getting her ready. We're about ready.
It's about that time of year.
It's about that time to start sailing again. All right, we're gonna keep drinking and finish these bowls. Sasha, hey, we'll catch you in the next part. I'm singing with the dulcet tones of Pepto-Bismol. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. Apprenticed to trade I was bound. Oh, many an hour sweet happiness I expect in that neat little town. Well, a sad misfortune came over me, which caused me to stray from the land, far away from my friends and relations, betrayed by the black velvet man. When her eyes they shone like diamonds, but over the queen of the land, and her hair tongue over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band. I took a stroll down Broadway, meaning not long for to stay. When who should I meet but this pretty fair maid come traipsing along the highway? She was both fair and handsome, her neck it was just like a swan's, and her hair it hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band, and her eyes they shone like diamonds. I thought her the queen of the land, and her hair tongue over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band. I took a stroll with this pretty fair maid, and a gentleman passing us by. Well, I knew she meant the doing of him from the look in her roguish black eye. Well, the gold watch she took from his pocket and placed it right into my hand. And the very first thing that I said was bad luck to the black velvet man. And her eyes they shone like diamonds. I thought her the queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band. Before the judge and the jury, the next morning I had to appear, and the judge he says to me, young man, your case it is proven quite clear. We'll give you 7 years penal servitude to be spent far away from the land, far away from your friends and relations, betrayed by the black velvet man. And her eyes they shone like diamonds. I thought her the queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band. Alright, Pipers, yo ho, yo ho. We are signing off for St. Patrick's Day 2026. Yeah, what a cool experience getting to try these Waterford Irish whiskeys. Thank you so much, Aaron, for bringing these over and letting us crack these. We smoked some Peterson Irish cask. That was a fun experience. I was actually kind of impressed. You know, these Peterson pipe tobaccos are always sort of hit and miss, and I know for a lot of people they're kind of
the go-to.
yeah. For me, it's just they were like some of my first experiences with tobacco. I'll have to do a video on the Peterson Hyde Park mixture someday. That's, man, that was probably my first ever pipe tobacco, and I've probably smoked more Peterson Hyde Park than I have anything else combined. But yeah, it kind of impressed me. You know, sherry cask. I wish we'd have learned a little bit more about the casking and aging process for these. But anyway, we don't know, and it doesn't matter because they were all delicious. We played some tunes that was, I mean, we don't get to play together very much.
Not anymore, yeah.
Yeah, you don't get to come over very much anymore. We're trying to change that.
Yes.
So, yeah, thank you all. Sláinte. Aaron Gabra, Ireland forever. We love you. Hopefully some Irish folks watch this, and I hope you're celebrating. Yeah, Ireland forever. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks for
We'll
joining.
catch you next time. Smooth sailing.